continue this flight from Barbados to Antigua with stops. Our first stop is actually going to be Trinidad, but this is us flying out of Barbados at 6 a.m. in the morning. Now it takes about an hour to get from Barbados to Trinidad, so the flight really isn't that bad because you blink 2 times and then you reach. Right here it looks like we're flying over Port of Spain, which is Trinidad's capital city. But Trinidad's so big, we were probably flying over land for a little bit before we landed. When we landed, everybody was rushing off the plane because they had connections, but so did I. But I was taking my time because I was like, them now left me. An airport shuttle bus ended up taking us to the terminal, and we were on the second trip because the first one went full. I don't know what happened, but it's like they weren't ready for the transiting passengers, because by the time we show up, the security guard is telling us we cannot come through, and the Caribbean Airlines agent is watching us like she don't know what carrying on either. By the time we get to security had to be like, y'all, they won't leave y'all, which was comforting, because by the time people like me reach our gate, they were done boarding. One thing I noticed was how on the plane they had all the flags of the areas that they fly to, which I love. After waiting on the tarmac, you take your Georgie bungle and you go on the plane and you find your seat, and it take a little while, but that's okay. Then we start to fly over Trinidad to leave, and this was also interesting because you couldn't actually see the ocean, which just showed you how big Trinidad was. For this flight, you get a little drinking because it's just about 2 hours. And one of the highlights of flying during the day over the Caribbean is you get to see the chain of islands. I believe this country here was St. Lucia. Hi, St. Lucia! I gotta visit y'all next. Here's another one that I spotted on the other window, and here's a visual representation of climate change with a large chunk of sargassum sea coming to a Caribbean beach near you. Look to the top left and you can see Guadeloupe. By this time we were close to home, but not quite there, because now we're making a stop to Dominica. Here we had to drop off people and pick up people and do all kind of things, but luckily we didn't have to come off the plane like we did in Trinidad. So it's about a 45-minute layover, and then we were off again, this time to Antigua. This flight between Antigua and Dominica is literally about 30 minutes, so this time you blink once and you reach. I was actually just happy to be back on the ground because it had been a long morning of flying. 10 out of 10 for visiting any Caribbean island. The experience is always worth it, but getting there sometimes can be a struggle. See y'all on the next Global Gyal adventure.